Don't miss a beat, join the notification squad by clicking that bell. You'll get notified every time I upload a video, and be sure to join our Discord to talk and get help with your code. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the source code. My name is Deshawn, and today we are getting started again on our Minecraft Bedrock scripting API. The last two videos got a lot of good feedback, and a lot of people are really loving these tutorials, so I thought I'd try to crank them out a little bit more often, and because the topic is really hot right now, and a lot of people are trying to learn it, so be sure to leave a comment down below for something you want me to do in the coming episodes. And if you are not a part of our Discord yet, definitely come to our Discord. We got tons of people who can help you out there, and if you guys are over in the official Minecraft Discord, I'll be over there too, so you guys can just ping me over there, and I'll try to help you when I can. So in this episode, we're going to be doing something kind of fun, kind of easy, and something that it has a lot of uses. So we are going to be creating custom entities. Now, at first, this can seem kind of daunting, as in Spigot or the Java version of Minecraft, it is a little bit more complicated to spawn entities with custom attributes. But in the scripting API, it's super, super easy. So I'm going to change these from var to let. It's just the new way of doing things in JavaScript from what I have learned. And again, keep in mind that I am still pretty new to JavaScript, so I may get the names of certain methods and functions wrong and saying things wrong. So just bear with me. We're all learning as we go. But anyways, so in our initialize function, let's just go ahead and say this.listen for event. And again, I have this display chat up here as a const. This is just so I don't have to write out Minecraft display chat event every single time I want to use it. I can just use the display chat event, and I can type that into the broadcast event instead of having to type that out every single time. Anyways, so I keep putting semicolons at the end because that's what I do in Java, and you don't have to do it in this, and it's just like it's not a bad force of habit, it's just a force of habit. So if you see me putting semicolons, you don't have to put semicolons, I just do. All right, so we're gonna do this whenever a player attacks an entity. You can do this however you want. This is just how I'm going to do it. So Minecraft :player attacked actor, and we're gonna go throw a comma in there. Then we're gonna go ahead and pass event data, and then we're gonna say this, and we're gonna say spawn entity, and it's going to pass an event data. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable up here, or a let, and I'm going to call this custom zombie, because what I want to happen, and why is this giving me an error? Oh, duh, that might help. Event data, just make sure I got that all right there. Okay, event data. Right, so I only want this custom zombie to spawn once, right? So I want to make sure that it's not already set. So if I put my variable out here, when I'm in my spawn entity function, I can check to see if that's null, and if it's not null, then go ahead and spawn a new one, or don't spawn one. If it is null, go ahead and spawn a new one. So then we're going to go over into our, not an update function, we're going to create our new function. So we're going to say server system, oops, not initialize, dot spawn entity equals function event data. Cool. And what we're going to say is we're going to say if custom zombie equals null, we're gonna do something, right? So now we're gonna go ahead and set custom zombie equal to this dot create entity, and this is going to be entity. And now the next thing is just going to be whatever entity you want. So you do have to know the Minecraft name, and remember, if you downloaded that vanilla pack, you should be able to see those names pretty easily. So we're gonna go ahead and say Minecraft zombie. If you want it for the ease, just follow along for everything I'm doing in this video, and it will just make your life a lot easier. Okay, so now we can start setting all of these custom attributes, right? And to do this, we start doing what's called creating components, right? So let's just do the name for now. So we're gonna go ahead and say let zombie name equal And then here we're going to go ahead and say this dot create component. And we want to create it for our custom zombie. So pass in our custom zombie. And then we want to go ahead and say Minecraft equals nameable. And to understand where I'm pulling all these from, let me just, in this right here, we can see all the different entities, right? So if I go into zombie and we open that up, we can see the component groups. Now we went over this, I believe in the last video, maybe we didn't, but maybe I'm just thinking of something else. But anyways, so we have all these different component groups and the components, which is what we want. And we can see here that nameable is one of them. And if you were to JSON stringify through this, you would be able to see all the different components of this particular piece. But all of these things are customizable one way or another. And so now we have nameable. Cool. So now this doesn't actually do anything yet, right? So we have to actually get to the name part of this. Nameable is just like the sort of the top level, right? So we want to go ahead and say zombie name dot name. And now we can set this zombie name equal to something that we want, right? So let's just go ahead and say, we'll pass in our alt code. Oop, not the smiley face. And let's just make his name red. And we'll say scary zombie. Cool. And before this, just in case, we're gonna go ahead and say zombie name always show, and we want this to equal true. And then the last step we got to do is just spawn it, and it's gonna spawn on us. That's just how it is. You can set custom spawn points, but we're just gonna spawn it on us right now, just because it makes sense and it's really easy. So we're gonna go ahead and say this dot apply component, if I can spell, apply component changes, and we want to apply it for the custom zombie, and we want to do it for the name. So we're going to go ahead and say zombie name. Cool. And then let's just go ahead and broadcast this event. Broadcast event. We'll say display chat, and then let's just go ahead and say, we'll say it in green. A custom zombie has spawned with ID, and let's just go ahead and use string interpolation here, so that way we can not have to do a bunch of pluses. $, and we'll say custom zombie.id. That should return its ID. And then let's just go ahead and make that dark green so we know the difference. Cool, so I already did my npm run watch. If you have not, go ahead and do that, and then every time you save, it will save it to the right locations using Stephen Blum or Atomic Blum's little package thing that he had. So let's open up TSC Bedrock, because that's where we save this particular mode to. The other one is where I do my testing before videos. Okay. So I do have a custom shader on. I'm not really sure if I really like it. It does brighten the game up, which I kind of enjoy. But we actually forgot to do one thing, right? Actually, no, we didn't. We don't need to set custom zombie anything because it's already set. Cool. So we didn't do anything wrong. So let's resume game. And let's just go ahead and get a sword. I don't need a sword, but, you know, who doesn't want a good sword to attack a cow? So now, if we attack, we can see here that scary zombie is spawning. Let's just go ahead and set the time to night here so he doesn't burn. Yeah, you get over there. So we can see now that the custom zombie spawned, and it's not going to respawn until we kill this one. Now, this has lots of implementations, and you can take it as however you want. This is sort of just the first step into creating custom entities. So let's just go ahead and kill him. So we can see here that he has died. We don't have any printout for death yet, but we could make one. And now, oh, interesting. It's not showing. So after an entity is dead, it doesn't actually nullify that particular variable that we created. We actually have to go ahead and do that ourselves, right? And I could have swore and4 was green, but I think it's and2. So what we want to do now is just listen for an entity death event, right? So we'll say entity listen for event, and this is just going to be Minecraft entity death, And once again, we're going to go ahead and pass, oh, not quite out of the quotes. And once again, we're going to go ahead and pass in event data, and that's going to be this dot on entity death. So I can type again, and event data. Cool, so now that's all ready to go. So let's just go ahead and say server system dot on entity death equals function event data. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and create a variable up here called ID, which is just going to be the zombie's ID. And we're going to use this so when it dies, we can check to see if that was our zombie, and then we can go ahead and set our custom zombie variable to false or to null, so that way we can create a new one. So on our entity death, let's just go ahead and say if ID is equal to, and let's just go ahead and create our variable entity equals event data dot entity. Entity is what's returned in our on entity death, and we'll say entity dot ID. We will go ahead and say this dot broadcast event display chat, and we'll say it in gold. You have slain your custom entity. A new one may spawn. And then let's go ahead and set our custom zombie, not custom elements, custom zombie equal to null. Come on. Man, I'm really struggling there. All right, so now if we set that to null, let's just go back into our Minecraft. Let's save and quit. Okay, so I was totally checking, I was doing the equals completely wrong. I was doing one equal sign and not two equal signs. So if we attack now, we can see here that it's not spawning any more custom entities. And now if we go ahead and we kill this guy, we can see here you have slain your custom entity and a new one has spawned. And we still didn't do past tense, but that's okay. And now we can see that it's not spawning any more custom entities until this one is dead. So let's go ahead and kill him again. And we can see here that he died. So now the only thing you got to be careful with, and I just did it, but you probably missed it, is if you attack the entity before it's completely gone again, it'll actually spawn a new one because the entity still has a hitbox that registers. And all this does is just register for a hitbox from what I can see. So the hitbox is still alive, even though the entity is not really attackable anymore. It doesn't take any more damage. The hitbox is still there, and the hitbox is still registering a player hitting that. So I'll show you guys that one more time. So here's our zombie, and if we attack really fast, we see here that we spawned another one because we attacked his hitbox. So just keep that in mind whenever you're doing things. Maybe add a delay to when entities can spawn if you're going to be using this in more of a production style thing or in a custom map. But the same concept applies for pretty much all mobs. If you just look inside of each of their JSON files, you can see all of the variables that you can edit and just use the JSON stringify to loop through and see what each particular object calls for and what it needs or what it is. And that's all I got for you guys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment, drop a like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.